Ladies and gentlemen, the show we've all been waiting for. Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present REP Paranormal and Friends with your hosts, Kim Purvis and Allison Robinson. Live every Thursday night on Spreaker, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Be sure to check out their Facebook page, REP Paranormal Busters.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hello, guys. Welcome to REP and Friends tonight. Allison can't be with us tonight, but I do have a special co-host, and I will introduce you to Cynthia. She's going to help me talk to these first-timers at Malvern.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome. And so far, we have April, Leslie, and Darren. A couple of them couldn't make it tonight. So we will talk to these three for now. If Erin finally joins us, we'll get her in there. So, first thing up is what everybody think of Malvern for their first time being there after seeing all our live feeds. How was it different?
I can't wait to go back. I cannot wait to go back.
Oh, it was a blast. I mean, compared to watching Facebook Lives, and then you get there, it's actually, rooms are actually smaller.
And it's such a maze. You get turned around so easily.
Oh, yeah. Very easy.
What do you think, Leslie?
Yeah, with it being a maze, like, it makes it even creepier.
Try about sitting in a room an hour with the dolls.
I was going to say, Darren just didn't like the dolls. That's all it was. Did you feel anything in there, Darren? Was you feeling?
Actually, it was... I mean, I went back in the digital voice recorder this past week, and I've caught a lot of knocks. I was talking to the crickets. I was talking to the dolls. I had my congregation all in front of me, and I did catch a voice, but it's kind of hard to make out what it was saying.
Yeah.
But I think what happened there is because being in a room like that all by yourself, I think I supercharged the room for the next person to go in.
Possibly that, or you have been sitting in there long enough, too, that, you know, once you're by yourself in the room, your imagination kind of tends to fire. So your mind will get the better of you.
Well, as you hearing those recordings I sent to you, oh, yes.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So, my question is, one of my questions is, now that you have been to Malvern and now that you have had a little bit of that experience, for the next time that you decide to go, where are you going to do a solo?
Well, Shadow Man Hallway. I think I'll start there next time.
Is that with or without Allison in the shadow suit?
That'll be without, because I will sit in the very back in that chair where it's all the way back to that shower room.
You have to admit, that was hilarious because you didn't even see her. You didn't
see
Got
her.
out backwards.
I didn't even flinch.
Yeah, but you were moving a little quick.
Well, after I heard what was going on, I'm like, I looked around, like, what the fuck was that? And then also I seen her, and I'm like, fuck this.
We are a children's show here. Language, mister.
But she got the fist at the end there.
Yeah, you did hit her a little bit, but
I was gentle. I went down slow.
And I wish the viewers could see this because I'm holding April's favorite part of the investigation right here.
A little puppy.
Yeah.
it was its first time at Malvern too.
Yep. Yes, it was. She has been now to Malvern and Granger. And so we will have to work her into going to a few more places. Would you stop trying to bite me, please? Thank you. So cute.
I think that's all April cared about was the puppy.
Oh, come on, Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, again, I wish I could show the viewers this face. How can you say no to that face? Look at that face.
This is what Jennifer said about Malvern, her view. You see it on TV shows with the different groups that have gone into it, and you think you know what you're going to get into, but actually being there and feeling the energy in person is a whole different ball of wax.
Oh, it is.
Oh yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, personally, going there in the daytime, it's okay. I mean, you get the cold chills every once in a while when your hair stand up, but at night, it changes mood real fast.
So even in the daytime, and not just because the windows are, shaded and kind of blacked out, but especially Shadow Man hallway. I mean, it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh
is
yes.
light. It's not just what your eyes are sensing. It's dark, and it changes from room to room. Being almost sad and depressed in Rebecca's room to, then going upstairs and dealing with Hank. I mean, it's Cynthia's best friend, Hank.
My best friend. Hank loves me. Oh, I think he called me every name in the book that night,
I gotta love Hank.
too. Yeah, he tends to call me everything but my Christian name, so, We're all good, though.
Before I even got started with anything, I think I was the first one to really get started that day. I jumped in the attic for an hour and a half by myself.
I figured since you guys were first timers, let you go at it yourself.
Yep.
Get the feel of the place.
I was calling out entity number one, and didn't really show himself at all that day. He was pretty quiet.
That you know of.
Yeah.
No.
He just...
I hit the captain's room. Being ex-military, we thought we might spark something, and we really... Because we had gone to the girls' room that pulls her hair out, nothing.
That's
And
Rebecca, yep.
Then went up to the captain's room, and it was just a buzzing energy in there.
And the funny thing that I found about that one was, were you with that group? Was Taylor with you guys?
No, it was just Chad and I by ourselves.
Okay, because the reason I was asking is I think it must have been April and Aaron that Taylor was with then, because Taylor still has, to this day, those scratches from the captain's room.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was showing us, he's like, don't mess with the television. If you're going to go ahead and change the channel, then something's going to happen. And he's like, and I just got scratched.
No.
No, we got touched quite a bit. We could, me on my face, Chad on his leg. I mean, we were being respectful. We weren't trying to provoke him or anything. But, I don't know, maybe, I'm not saying Taylor provoked him, but we didn't.
Well,
Chad
no.
did turn the channel, but he wasn't being a dick about it or anything.
Yeah, well, and I think if I remember correctly, I believe Allison was up in there with Taylor and was kind of messing with the TV a little bit, and that's why Taylor was showing you guys, hey, this is what he doesn't want done is to have the TV messed with, and we all love Allison to death, and we all know how she is.
But she knows how to get to them.
Yeah, exactly. If she can poke and prod a little bit, she will.
Yeah.
But she never does it. She never does it spitefully.
No.
You know.
But she just knows how to get the captain going. You mess with his TV, you're going to get him going.
Yep.
Well, I guess that's a trigger for me next time.
Yep.
He does not like that.
Briefly. In there just briefly. I was supposed to actually sleep in there that night. Because I couldn't do it in the attic. It was so freaking hot.
I know, the attic was so hot.
Yeah.
Well, Taylor wanted to sleep in that bathtub, and it's a good thing nobody spent the night in there.
Yeah.
Well, we got a little bit more work in that room, but we pretty much think we know what it is with Cynthia's help.
Yeah.
We just got a little bit more work to do, so.
Yep, I gotta sit in there and do a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
That was a trip.
Personal chatting.
We go back in November, and Allison is not going in that room at all.
No.
I will not let her go in that room in November.
No, we had the Tesla coil going at that time.
Yeah, that definitely intensified everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything got weird in there. I mean, Taylor got goofy. I guess when I went back and recorded, it sounds like I got kind of goofy too, but just didn't really realize it.
Darren, I think you were more focused on trying to figure out what it was that was interacting with both Taylor and I.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where that came from.
There's sometimes I repeated myself, and it's like, and in the recording, I'm like, God, why did I do that? Because like you flared up when I started saying, I'm like, no, it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I caught water running at one point on the digital voice recorder.
We think,
but there's no water running.
The only place that has running water in that is the bathroom and the kitchen, right?
Yeah, that's the only places.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So for Leslie and April, for you two, which was your favorite spot in Malvern?
Well, for me, I think probably the most intense experience that I had was when, Kim, you were doing, I think, Estes method with Allison, maybe? And you said, hey, April, they're asking for you. Somebody wants you down here.
Oh, I was sitting in the doll room, and Allison was watching the cameras and asking questions. And I couldn't hear her because I didn't have nothing going. And she was just asking it right at the screen. And your name did come up.
Yeah, so I went down there with Jennifer and Aaron, and it turns out it was a Tom who wanted to talk to me, apparently. So that was cool, because I've never been, a personal one-on-one interaction like that.
Mm-hmm.
So his name's Tom. He likes rock and roll, and apparently he thinks I'm good looking. So I came home and told him,
April's got a new side piece.
And April, you don't know any Toms in your...
No. And I haven't done any research since then, so I don't know if there was a resident named Tom, or maybe it's one of Gracie's personalities. I don't know.
I'll bust out my book later that I have. I have the spiral book that Josh and Tori Smith wrote.
Okay.
And it's got the names of several people that had lived in Nishna Cottage and had lived in the hotel and the group home and everything, and so I will check that out.
Yeah, because Tom is the first time I've ever heard it come up when we've investigated.
Yeah, that's not a name I'm familiar with.
Uh-uh.
And I've never heard my name personally come through. You know, Spirit Box, Spiritus, Necrophonics, anything like that. So
Right.
That was really kind of cool.
Right. Leslie?
I don't know, the two, like I said, the captain's room, and then I was with Darren and Allison and Chad in the lady in the wheelchair.
Gracie?
Gracie.
Room. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. That got weird too.
Yeah, that was interesting in there.
Cynthia almost shit herself too.
Oh!
Well, yeah.
When Chad slammed that door.
Thanks to Chad. I would have come after him had I not been holding my puppy. Poor baby.
I know. But I didn't go to like Hank's room, and I didn't investigate the Shadow Man hallway. So I didn't feel anything bad there. But you feel stuff there. I didn't feel bad in the captain's room. I felt energy. I felt, of all the places I've been, that's the, you know what I'm trying to say when you're...
Yeah. No, I totally get it. And what I was going to add is, it's, with Malvern, you don't necessarily feel negative energy. You don't necessarily feel bad or evil. What you feel is the intensity of the energy of the place.
Yeah.
Right.
Jennifer had an experience here, she says. She's awful about remembering names of living and spirits, but she says, one of my personal experiences of the night for me was when I was in the room of the little girl at the beginning of the night. I felt myself become overcome with a heavy feeling and almost went into a trance-like state, and after a short while began feeling my heart rate climb and myself fill with anxiety. And then it goes, when the rest of the group was getting up to leave, I felt like I was stuck sitting on the floor like I couldn't move. April finally came over to me and helped me up, and after I left the room, I felt better.
That was Inez's room, right?
Yep.
That was Rebecca's room.
Was it? Oh, no, yeah, it was. It was Rebecca's room.
Oh, Rebecca's room. Okay.
Yeah.
Because she was over in the corner, and she just felt like she just could not, like, even lift her head.
Yep, you're right. Because she was off to one side of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That
not like sit still like that. It's like, Jen, are you okay?
Yeah, the whole experience, I think, for a new person is, the first time is fairly confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Because, number one, you're not quite sure what you're dealing with. Number two, you don't know the layout of the place well. Until you've gone back, and I mean, Kim can attest to this too, I think. Until you've gone back 3, 4, 5 times, you know, you really don't ever get comfortable with it. Hang on a second, give me my remote back.
I was trying to sit down and figure out how many times I've actually been there. It's got to be close to 30 times, and I'm still learning stuff about that place.
Yeah, see, I've been there 7 or 8 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you guys are the lucky ones.
But see, that's just the thing, though. You can go back over and over and over and over and over again and still learn something new every single time that you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go back over and over and over again and get something every single time that you go.
Yeah.
Didn't Aaron get April? Weren't you chasing Aaron with some spray? She got jacked up in one of those rooms.
Well, I think Jennifer talked about that here. Let's see. She witnessed Aaron getting grabbed in a room full of dolls to the ending of the night in the Shadow Man's hallway, hearing noises and leaving shadows moving at the end. That's all she talked about was Aaron right there, so.
Yeah.
Who was chasing after her with spray? Because it wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Because we were doing the SS method. It was Jen, Aaron, and I in the doll room. That's who wanted to talk to me. And had her back to that door that was shut.
The bathroom door, yeah.
Door. And all of a sudden she got this let me in, like really deep. She was trying to verbalize how she heard things. And then she just was like, she like threw her headphones and she's like, what the hell was that? And it's like, no, I got to get out of here. And first time she's had a reaction like that to anything.
Wow.
And when I was sitting in that doll room just before you guys went down there, that bathroom door was trying to come open while I was sitting in there.
So I don't know if, number one was all that quiet that night, because we got into the safe room. She's like, I don't feel good. She's like, I really don't feel good. I said, that's it. We're going outside. Yeah. I'm like, let's go. It's just
good girl.
Yeah. I see you, Cynthia. I learned. I got some good teachers.
Hey, we try.
Gotta keep you safe.
Yeah. The thing that she came out, and I didn't mean to make light of her terrifying experience, but she came out, and Chad and I were out there. I was smoking, and she came out, sat down, and she goes, this shit is why I do pot.
I think so too, if you're by yourself for 10, 12 hours. Yeah.
So funny, because every time she comes along to one of these things, it's like she has an epiphany moment.
If I remember right, first time I ever met her, I'm a skeptic. Mm-hmm. Yep. We changed that real quick, didn't we?
Yeah, that first night at the Cedar Falls Women's Club, and she was like, all right, this is real. And the second time Allison had an episode, and she's like, and
then
that's when I met her.
And then we take her to Malvern, and okay.
Yeah. And I did tell her, I said, I'm, kind of glad that you had this experience before we go to someplace a little bit bigger and darker, because,
right,
if you're just experiences like Granger House and Women's Club, then whew.
Or what about smaller and darker, like Axe Murder House?
We did stop by there on our way home, just because, it's so close.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually had an empath moment.
Did you?
I didn't really tell anybody. The people who were there, Aaron and Jen, saw it. I started bawling.
Aww.
Like just holding my stomach, just bawling. And apparently the babies were just sleeping. The babies were sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even from the outside of that place, you can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
I just walk in that place, I want to start crying, because you know the history of it and everything. And I
was looking up at the bedroom window where the room where all the more children were sleeping, and just couldn't control. And it wasn't my emotions. It was just whoosh.
Yeah. It's Kelly McCarville, when she goes to Villisca, she at a certain time of the day gets basic flashes, like a movie playing in her head, of replays of what happens there. And she said that's really, really tough on her. When I went, we did an hour day tour like you guys did, and we just had the voice recorder and necrophonic, and without even doing an Estes method or anything, the boys were in the attic, and I had told whoever it was, because we were doing a necrophonic session before that. I had told whoever it was that if it had touched my elbow or touched, my shoulder or something, I would leave the attic. Well, it started messing with my elbow, so I left. And I was standing outside the attic door telling the boys we need to go because there's another team, or, there's another group of people coming in. And clear as a bell on my EVP recording, you can hear a female voice, and it is an older female, not a young child or anything. It's an older female, and it says clear as a bell, "Look at me."
Jeez.
So yeah, and places like that are tough anyway, because if you go in Malvern, getting back to Malvern, because we kind of went
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
squirrel. We're good at that.
We're good at that, but that's okay.
I created it. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's all good.
But
yeah.
Going back into Malvern, you have the story of Inez. And how supposedly how it started out that she died. And then, after they're done telling you that story, then they amend it to what really happened and where she was really at and stuff. But it's funny because if you go and sit in her room, you get that sense of sadness.
Lonely. Yeah.
And it's just weird because, technically she didn't die there.
Right. Is it like 2 blocks away? Yeah.
The house that she died in is now an empty lot.
Right. And she was 12, right? That happened?
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, she just jumping rope
I don't
with
have
her
my
brother.
history notes with me.
Something like she was doing jumping rope with her brother, and she went up to the room and she hung herself in the closet.
She was playing. Okay, so the story originally goes that her and her brother Otto were living at the manor. This is the original old story that they tell. That her and her brother Otto were living at the manor. Their aunt and uncle owned the grocery store in Malvern. So that's why they were at the manor, and which was the hotel at the time, I think. Right, Kim?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. It was the hotel at the time. And Inez and her brother were outside playing. Inez got cold. She wanted to go inside and play, so she went up to her room. Well, story has it that a little while later, a short time passed, and Otto went in to find her, went up to her room, and found her hanging in the closet by her jump rope.
Something had to influence that to happen.
Now, well, wait. Now, it didn't happen, Darren. It did not happen that way.
Okay.
Because they lived up the street, and she didn't. I mean, I think she died of something else. She died at a young age, but she died of something else. She did not die in Malvern. So what we are trying to figure out is why she's there. And theory has it because it was the hub and the center of where everything was going on and everything happened. And, it could have been that her aunt and uncle had them there, while they were working or whatever. That was why she is so familiar with the place, and she, gravitated back towards that.
Okay. And that makes sense.
Yeah, and the other theory is, with Malvern, that place, I'm sorry, and Leslie and April can agree with me, that place is a beacon.
Oh, heck yeah.
It is a beacon because there are spirits that are not set to that place that show up.
Well, doesn't something have to do with the railroad and the train that came by and people got off there, and that's where they all kind of get off that way?
Yep, it was right by the railroad tracks. The railroad tracks ran, what did Josh say, 100 feet? Like,
I'd say, yeah.
outside?
Maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, it's with Malvern. It's the intensity of the energy. It's the intensity of the emotion. It plays off of your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. That when I was even walking up to the building, like it was looking at me and judging me and going, okay, what are we going to do with this one? You know, it just was like, all right, I'm checking you out. You're checking me out. We're going to see what happens here.
Yep.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but everybody say hi to Allison. She's in chat.
Hi, Allison.
Hi, Allison. But yeah, so I don't know. I think for me it was really, really fun watching these guys. It really was. Because just little things with like April and Leslie and Aaron, it was them going into a room and standing there for a second and going, oh,
Yeah.
do I really want to be here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Kim will come up and scare the shit out of you.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And then you have Leslie who's like, where do I want to go first? Let's see. You know?
Right.
Darren has already wandered off on his own. I mean, I was going to make a... Yeah. Well, I was going to make a shirt that said, where's Roland? Because Roland used to do that all the time. But now I'm thinking we need a shirt that says, where the hell is Darren?
I will do that.
All right.
The curious mind of mine just wants to just go. When I get to a place, I want to go. I don't want to fool around. I'm there. I paid to be there. I want to get going. You know.
Darren is the serious. I mean, deadpan serious face. We've got to investigate now.
Now with that railroad, and it leads to Villisca.
See?
Has anyone ever investigated the railroad to see if anything's out there to make the connection from Villisca to Malvern? Because isn't the crime? Yes.
Darren. Do any of us look ambitious enough to walk railroad tracks?
I will.
I know you will.
And report back.
Yeah. You can do that, and you just give us a report of what's up.
But I mean,
Fear last week, just out of curiosity.
What's that?
Did anybody watch Destination Fear last week?
Yes, we did. That's where I was going with the train tracks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's a connection between the two.
The cool thing is that part of why that show actually kept me watching it is because they went with that theory. Roland actually has, and I wish I could find it, a stack probably like that of research that he had been doing on the connection between Malvern and Villisca and the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Josh, I'm like, did you know they were going to do that? And he says, I pitched that to them. He says, I pitched that as a something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty cool because, yeah, the theory between it is that because Malvern was the Cottage Inn when it first started and was the hotel, could it have been? Might this person have stayed there? I mean, who's to say that they did?
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And if you watched the episode in their Villisca, it came up twice. Both of them, it said Reverend on the obelisk.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So if that's not a coincidence, is that a possibility that is who the killer is? If they're both getting it?
Possibly. The thing that I have an issue with it is that they didn't, for me, personally, they didn't spend enough time in the other areas.
No.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, they brought number 1 into the Shadow Man hallway. And I'm sorry, but number 1 is more free roam upstairs and in the attic.
Uh-huh.
I mean, yes, he goes all over Malvern. Don't get me wrong, because I've experienced that nasty in the Shadow Man hallway. But
his primary is the attic mostly, but he does roam. But that's where he likes to corner people more, in the attic.
You didn't corner me.
You weren't up there long enough.
Nope.
I was up there for an hour and a half.
You didn't get.
Careful what you wish for there, Bren.
Darren?
I'm just saying.
Darren?
Yes.
I'm going to take you back to Malvern.
Let's go.
And we're going to put Kim watching monitors. We're going to put you up on the 2nd floor and in the attic and let you get that lippy.
I will bring all 8 cameras, and we will have them on you.
Bring it on.
We need to do an Estes
With
method
the
up
silver
there.
platter. Enjoy.
I already got the doll room done, so bring it on.
No.
Oh, no. I got more dolls to bring.
Well, they didn't talk to me, so what good was that?
Hey, they moved on me, so
There you go. But
I had 2 of them. We have Brian Kuhn. I think that's how you spell his name. He goes
Hey,
with
Brian.
Short Bus. Yeah. He says it still freaks me out that my dad's name is on one of the little compartments at the nurse's station, but yet he's never been there or admitted there, but the name is spelled exactly the way he does it.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
That is really cool. Yeah, it's neat the way that they have that. And I think that's one of the other things that is really cool for the new people that come through, is they actually get to see that they haven't messed with the place, you know?
I like that. I like it being raw like that.
One thing that, just from my own personal experience, I worked in a nursing home after school when I was in college, 98 to 02.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been the same time that this place was still open and running.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me to look at what was there and as far as amenities and everything like that versus what I was working in, it was just like, good grief.
Yep.
It was just, I could not wrap my head around.
Well, and then
that is not ADA handicap accessible by any means.
no.
Yeah.
No.
And Friday night, we were there with our group, and we had another first-timer there on Friday night, and she actually got to experience Susie playing with the K2 and dancing with the music on the K2.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
Sweet. Very sweet.
And then there's that music thing that in Inez's room now that you step on it and it plays music when you step on it.
Piano thing, yeah.
Yeah, we put it out in the hallway. We were in Inez's room trying to create and duplicate the doll when it fell and the ball going around. Well, that music thing went off in the hallway as we were sitting in there.
That's awesome.
So she got to have her first experience there too.
You guys will forever be known as the team who had the scream heard around the world.
Yes.
Did we have the music box there last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah. All my equipment was sitting out there on the counter. I said, anybody wants to use it, go ahead and take it.
Yep, it was there.
We used it late, but we didn't get nothing. It was pretty quiet.
Because I was trying to figure out the music box and couldn't figure out which way I was supposed to point the stupid thing.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. We took it out.
And there's me looking for the switch to turn it off to recalibrate. Like, where's the damn switch?
That music box
Right
don't
in
like
your
you.
eyes.
Darren, the music box just don't like you anyway. We found that out.
Yeah. Women's club, yeah.
Women's Club and Farrar.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it means I gotta get one. But it's more fun with somebody else's.
But we're talking about next year doing Malvern again with the group, but a little bit cooler instead of so hot.
Yeah, let's not do it in the jack middle of summer.
No. Because we got to get Darren up in the attic more.
Yeah.
You're like, let's go explore. Yeah, but air conditioning. I mean, right here.
Uh-huh. Well, no, April's was more, but puppy.
Well,
I did the plasma ball up there, and Cynthia came up after almost 40 minutes of it being on, and what did you feel about that?
It definitely gave the room a different feel to it. I don't want to know. I don't want to jump up and say that it amplified it, but it gave it a different feel. I guess the one main issue that I have with stuff like the plasma balls and the
Tesla
that
ball?
thing, the spinny thing, the Tesla coil. If the rooms are small, it's almost too much.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was actually going to bring the plasma ball up to Inez's room, but later on that night says no, that'll be too much for her.
Yeah.
The goal is with that is to have a spirit touch it and have it move,
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm looking for. So maybe I'll put it in the Shadow Man hallway next time and see what happens.
So did Chad ever tell you what his favorite experience was, Leslie?
He said the captain's room. That was his favorite spot.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. What was it? Not too long before we were there, I think, Josh was doing a live on Facebook, and he was downstairs and he said he heard something fall upstairs, and it was the cover for the light on the ceiling had fallen down and broken.
Jeez.
In the captain's room? Or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just the mood that he's in that day. It's just
what happens to go back.
It's just like number one. It's the mood he's in that day. I personally have not been messed with by number one.
Me either.
My whole fun is sitting up and antagonizing Hank.
I like going to sit with my buddy Susie. We've got a pretty good thing going.
Which one's Susie?
She's the one that does all the coloring. She has all the coloring books in her room. Just after the captain's room, you're going down the hall. Hers would be just before you get to Inez's room. She'd be on your left.
Side.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
The one with like all the toys and it's painted yellow.
Yep. The one I took the brand new Dolly floor tour because I found out from watching a live feed, one of the nurses where she used to be before she came to Malvern, she always carried a baby doll. Well, she didn't have no baby doll for her to carry around, so I went out and bought her a baby doll, put her in her room, and Josh said that would be perfect.
Nice.
So how did number one get his name?
Because he won't tell anybody his name. He just says, I am one. I am one.
And to Roland, he's Bob.
Well, maybe his name's Juan, and you guys are just going
We just never...
Yeah, maybe we need to try that.
And we can try that next time. Yeah.
Habla Espanol, Juan?
I like it.
Hey, I'm down to try it because, like Darren said, he won't tell us his name, so Roland calls him Bob.
Okay.
So if I call him Bob, I'll probably piss him off.
We were at Malvern doing a Para 101 with Paranormania. It was the one that had Chris Smith from Tennessee Race Chasers, the Paranormal Project guys, Hauser was there. Madison was there. Somebody else was there besides Josh. Can't remember who. But anyway, we were in the hallway, in the Shadow Man's hallway, after everything was said and done and everything had kind of died down a little bit, and we were doing an Estes method. I had the headphones in. Roland was asking the questions, and it again came through as Bob. It actually said Bob. And so Roland was like, "Oh, hi, Bob. How's it going, Bob?" And so one of the other people that had come down to watch the Estes session that we were doing asked some sort of a question like, why are you here, Bob? And I get clear as a bell through my headphones, "Do not call me that."
Wow. Special privileges.
And so Roland says, "Well, why not? I don't like that." I was like, wow, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but somebody is torqued off.
I'll have to remember that when I go in November.
Yeah.
Fuel.
Yeah. But I mean, it was clear and succinct. Do not call me that. I was
Maybe
like,
it's the Robert, the little more formal.
maybe. Roberto?
Roberto.
That could be.
Hey, if Leslie says it's Juan, it could be Roberto.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
We'll try both of them. How's that?
There we go.
Let's start speaking in Spanish. Let's see what happens.
Casa de Malverno. I'm going to bring that one up.
That's all I know of Spanish.
That's hilarious. Oh, but you guys, if you guys ever get the chance to watch one of Josh's lives while he's on, they're hilariously funny because he goes out for cigarette breaks so many times throughout the whole time he's there.
That's what my husband loved about Josh. He was telling the story about things that had happened at Malvern, and Eric's never been there before in his life. And he took me to Roland's birthday party, and he was sitting there next to the hallway in the living room where you could look down towards the nurse's station. Well, Josh was telling his stuff and how every time he hears a noise, cigarette break, and then he'd tell, and kept going about cigarette break, that sticks to Eric's mind. And then Kelly started in on hers about the thing coming up the hallway at her, and she couldn't move, and Eric's looking down that hallway, and next thing I know, he's on the couch and staying away from that hallway doorway. Because he won't investigate, but he did take me, and he went in the place. I couldn't believe it, but he went in there, but he stayed on the couch the whole night.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never seen in there is any type of a crawler.
Me either. Until Allison,
Kelly. Oh.
Let me in there again. I'll get one out.
Oh, for sake, Darren.
Darren, this is coming from your own mouth, okay? From the person who says that he wouldn't be able to see the Shadow Man if it came rushing at him anyway. How
Correct.
are you going to know if you get a crawler out?
I don't know.
You
Try.
You couldn't even see Allison until you heard her.
Who knows? Give me a tactic. I'll try something.
Well, though, if you take away one of the senses... Well, that was weird.
Your lights just flicked. It got darker.
Uh-oh. Sun's messing.
That was really freaking odd. Hang on a second.
No kidding.
Hey, maybe the tree fell and knocked the power out.
Being sodded. It's Roberto. Quick.
But yeah, we're definitely going to get the group back together and go again. I told Jennifer we'll get her to go back again, too, because she wants to go back, too.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I figured maybe, like, April, March, somewhere around there, or later after August, where it's cooler.
May.
May?
May is a really good time to go to Malvern.
Okay.
The reason being, we went in February.
Oh, cold. I've been there in February, too.
OMG.
May.
I could not feel my fingers after being down in the Shadowman hallway for probably about 10 minutes. No April or March. Too cold.
Hey, May is my birthday month anyway, so that'd be a good birthday present.
There we go. We'll offer you up as a sacrifice.
Sure.
Perfect. Sold.
As long as you get my other item.
Put it on the calendar.
Now, we went for my birthday with Creeps from Kansas on my birthday, February 27th. It was cold.
Oh, geez.
We were in there February 2nd. Ooh, when we did our photo shoot with Thomas Hunsaker with Glimpse of Brilliant Sanity. Brilliant Glimpse of Sanity. I always get that thing mixed up. And I think we spent at least 3/4 of the night in the safe room trying to warm up.
Yeah.
That's the same as Edinburgh. Don't go when it's cold, because you're in the safe house most of the time trying to stay warm.
So, Leslie,
Yes, sir.
in the whose room was that?
Gracie's.
Gracie's room.
Mm-hmm.
That was really interesting. What all went down. Were we in there for about an hour? I think, right?
Yeah, I'd say an hour, good 45 minutes to an hour.
So when I lay down on her bed, that was a weird feeling because both sides of my head started tingling, like somebody's like rubbing down the side of my face.
That's what Gracie does.
That was interesting.
Normally she goes somewhere else, but at least she went to your head.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll move on.
Anyway,
to that one.
Because we've caught her on the SLS doing it.
Because we don't want to get into the submarine topic
No.
either.
But she got the K2 to go off a couple times, and then we got a very cool EVP. Cynthia, you want to share that?
Really?
Yes.
Darren sent me the EVPs out of Gracie's room, and you're about, halfway through it or so?
Yeah, about halfway through it. The Necrophonics was being played.
Darren was asking if it was okay if he was laying on the bed. And just a few seconds after that, and I heard his name twice. He only heard it once. I heard his name twice. The second time that it was said, it sounds exactly like Roland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It sounds exactly like Roland and how he would say Darren's name. So that was pretty cool. I was going to ask too, Leslie, were you sitting in Gracie's wheelchair?
No, that was Allison.
That was Allison.
Allison was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That actually moved with her in it when we first got started.
See, the next time you get in there, if you get a chance, Leslie, sit in Gracie's wheelchair and see, just sit there and sense and see what you feel. She does not like other women, like, on her bed, in her wheelchair, in her room in general.
Okay.
I'm just curious to see what you feel, because every time I sit in the wheelchair and I start to have a conversation with Gracie, it always ends up somewhere it shouldn't be, because I normally have another guy in there. The first time it was Roland, and it was I told her, I said, well, if you're feeling frisky, why don't you come sit on Roland's lap? And Taylor was doing the Estes, and Taylor comes out with my lap. And I went, no, that's my lap.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't feel like she would respond to me at all. But I feel Darren got the most responses out of her in there.
Yeah, she doesn't respond well to women.
Yeah, I got a tap on the shoe, laying on the bed.
Mm-hmm.
What did Chad get? Did he get anything? Did he get touched?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Gracie usually likes to goose men and touch men on the leg and places a little bit further up. Yeah, we won't
Chad
go
got
there.
good that night, that's for sure. But that's thanks to Kim. I need a t-shirt that says "Where's Kim?"
Me?
Yep.
I did not scare anybody at all. Try to, anyway. All I did was walk through somewhere and then everybody's screaming.
Y'all would have loved it had you have been down last Friday night with us down in Bango. We went in just to get some general feels of the place to see if the energy had changed much or not. And we're walking through there, and one of the people that works there had been with us. And this guy is known for scaring the hell out of everybody he can, just because he can. And so we're walking through the maze, and we get to the maze, and we catch up to him and find him again. So we went through the hallway that's got these plastic, you know what farm tile looks like? The tile tubes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's got that hanging down. So we're winding our way through this, and we get through that, and we get to the hallway. They have this hallway that the walls inflate, so it makes it a little claustrophobic.
God.
So we're walking through that hallway. We get to this room where there's 3 doors, and we're trying to pick a door to go through, because if you don't pick the right door, you're going to go in circles. Open the door, and he's on the other side, and he's like, "What are you doing?" OMG. You would have
Punch in the face, I'm just saying.
You would have laughed your butt off. Watching me jump about 50 feet.
Well, I think Roland was with me when I was in the doll room, but I can't be for sure. Because because him and Inez always, with the penguin, was duck, duck, duck.
Yep.
And that's what came across the necrophonics, and that's when the 2 dolls fell over.
And it could possibly have been.
It could have been Inez, or it could have been Roland, either one, but...
Or it could have been both.
Yeah, it could have been the both, because he could have been going duck, 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 and she could have knocked the dolls over.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, did he call me a bitch in there too?
What?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
He was good at calling you that.
I think we all called you that, Darren.
Yeah, I think Roland was in there a couple of times with that one.
Because I was shocked when I heard that come across, and I'm going, I've heard that before, many a times.
Yeah, when Roland used to like to razz you. Yeah, I've heard that name a couple of times, but it's all out of love, and you know we love you, Darren.
Oh, yes, I know. That's always a lot of fun. He always messes with my brain for after 3 hours after a show.
Yeah.
I think even a couple of shows, I think he was just drunk as a skunk.
You think? Although, I do have to laugh because when we brought Darren here to go to Malvern, he spent the night at Taylor's house, and Taylor absolutely went, and Darren's mind was still fried. But a few weeks ago when I asked him about it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was interesting because we were just trying to get our game plan and how we were going to use the test recoil and the plasma ball. And it's like, well, we tried this, we tried that, we put the tools out. What interfered with what? And
So, in other words, you nerded out, and it was a good thing I didn't go over there.
yeah, we nerded out for probably, I think it was like after the show I was watching, like after 10 o'clock, we were up until 1:30 yet.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I was still investigating at that time.
So yeah, we were geeking out, but that's all for good.
Yeah,
time.
they were looking a little rough when I picked them up in the morning to run up to Cedar Rapids before we went to Malvern. Yeah.
I slept on the couch. So.
They're both in a little rough shape. I texted Taylor, "Hey, you up?" Yeah. You ready to go? Whatever.
I was stirring around 8 o'clock or so, but I'm like, I gotta get up. But that's one long ride, though. I tell you that, one long ride.
Which one?
Uh,
Dubuque to Storm Lake or Storm Lake to Malvern?
Dubuque to Storm Lake.
Yeah, I was gonna say Storm Lake to Malvern's only 2.5 hours. Dubuque to Malvern is 4.
And I think we almost saw a tornado happen on the way.
We're a little over 3 hours from Malvern, from Marshalltown.
Yeah, I'm 2.5.
About 4 for us.
Yeah, I'm pretty set in the middle of all of you guys. It's 2.5 hours to get to Malvern. Takes me 2.5 hours to get to Kim's house. Takes me 2.5 hours to get to Cedar Rapids. Or not Cedar Rapids, Cedar Falls, excuse me. It takes me a little over 3 to get to Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm kind of jealous by that, actually.
Hey, April,
Yes.
y'all can move up here. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
I know.
saying.
I know. We're gonna hit the lake at some point. So.
I keep seeing all this stuff on Facebook. We're having cocktails in Okoboji.
Don't invite you, do they? No.
I'm only an hour away from Okoboji.
No, I only get 1 weekend out of the year up there without the folks. So.
I was gonna say I'm only an hour away.
Well, we've hit the 8 o'clock hour. It goes too fast.
Extra time.
5 more minutes. 5 more.
Well, I'm gonna go through everybody what they thought again about Malvern and everything before we close up here.
Sounds good.
We'll start with Leslie.
Malvern is a charged home. It's unique because there's so many different spots to go to and get a different experience. So definitely worth going back.
Yeah, there's rooms probably you hadn't even hit yet.
Right.
Okay, April.
Like I said at the beginning, I can't wait to go back. Malvern is unlike any other place that I've investigated before. And it deepens the mystery. I just want to know more about it, more about the spirits there. So I can't wait.
Darren.
Malvern is definitely a beast. I loved every second of it. Definitely would like to go back as many times as I possibly can because I didn't hit half the rooms. I was too focused on certain areas. But, yeah, I absolutely enjoyed it. So.
And we had the pleasure having you guys with us. Like I said, we're going to plan another one with everybody, the same people again, and do it again.
Sounds
Oh,
good
yeah.
to me. I'm in.
Let's do a two-nighter.
Since I'm taking over Allison's job here, gotta give a shout out to Shay and Matt and Mama Deb and Darren Bus guys in the room and
the most
Brian,
I ever have been.
Brian Kuhn And Allison was in the room for a little bit, but she stopped talking after a while, I noticed.
I know. She said something about having bad connection or something.
Yeah.
Did you have a couple of glasses of wine like Allison does?
No, and you noticed that nothing happened on the show. It went smoothly. Sorry, Allison.
Boy, it actually looks like I had text to talk on, and there's a big conversation in there.
You don't know what's in this cup now, do you?
That's true.
Water? Maybe not.
Because I did not see anybody saying, I can't hear you, I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah. Darren's got talk to text in the room.
Well, that's a good conversation there. I didn't realize until now that I looked at it.
The one thing that we do need to do, though, Kim, is with this big group of people that we take back, we need to get Shay and we need to get Matt.
Yes.
down here with us.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We need to take Shay and Matt with us.
Yes. We just got to figure out how to get them here and what day, and so we can get it all planned out.
We need to do it 2 nights. 2 nights. I'll take extra time off just to do 2 nights.
Do 2 nights?
I'm willing to do a 2-nighter again.
Oh, I'm perfectly happy doing two nights.
Me and Allison did the 2-nighter, and it's like one night, certain half of the house was really active, and the night you guys were there, this part of the house was active, and it's like, yeah.
And it does
So
that.
it evens out.
Yep, it does that. It switches on you.
But
anyway.
that shadow hallway had Allison both nights, and I wouldn't let her go near that bathroom either night.
No, hell no.
Nope.
She needs to stay out of there.
Yep.
Till,
Love you, Allison, but no.
until we figured the whole story out, you're never going back in that room again.
That's right.
Yeah. Cynthia, maybe with the emails I sent you, send them over to Kim and see. That way she has them.
Okay.
Because that way she gets the feel of what the shower room is like.
Gotcha.
So.
Did you send her the video of the plasma ball
Oh yeah.
up in the attic?
Everybody's got that.
Okay, Cynthia, watch that video because there's a light that comes in. I don't know if it's from a car or what, but every once in a while it'll flash a light towards the closet over that plasma ball. The closet will get brighter.
Can't be from a car because there's no windows in there.
I didn't think there was, but I'm just trying to figure everything out. But you could see the closet light up a little bit, and then it goes dark. Then it lights up and goes dark.
Okay, I'll look.
Yeah, nobody was up there.
Yeah, I know it was all empty.
And
Okay.
towards the end, you'll hear a disembodied voice say, "Hey."
Ooh.
Yeah, there's several voices up in there I heard. And that was without the headphones in, so.
Okay.
Right.
And I do not know who our guest is for next week, but we'll let you know, and we will sign off, and thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Good night, all.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to REP Paranormal and Friends. Be sure to check out Kim and Allison on Facebook at REP Paranormal Busters.